really weird that happened in sports yesterday. Clutch performer trivia at some point for PumpJacks Cathedral trivia. We're playing for $100 today. So we are it's like a medium toughness on the trivia today. Curtis, backgammon, came up with the question today. So we'll have that for you at some point as well. And Glen Suitor in hour 3. Along with Sprinkle of the Day. Suits will want to talk about a lot of stuff that happened in the CFL. And also the flag football. The men's and women's flag football teams start on the 16th in Dusseldorf, Germany. I want to go to Dusseldorf next year for the World Hockey Championships. That's still up in the air. But it starts on, is it the 16th? Does it start on Sunday? That's weird. I have it starting on the 16th, Colson. Maybe it's the 14th. Anyway, Canada is 1-0. Tournament hasn't started yet. The men. Because Nigeria couldn't get their visa situation figured out, so they can't even go play. Unfortunate. Imagine that. You go to the World Championships. You won your division or your country. And then, you can't go. Tough one. What, do you have the dates there, Colson?
Working on it. Still pulling them up.
Canada's, I guess, kind of get lucky. I guess, anytime you don't got to play an extra game and wear and tear, but...
13th to 16th, yeah, starting on Thursday.
Yeah, okay, so I had it starting on 16th. Yeah, it's 13th. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. The other thing, too, today, here's where you come into the program. We'll ask Rob Vanstone. We'll ask Arash. We'll ask Glen as well. Colson, curious to get yours as we go over the next 3 hours as well. But the New York Islanders have their new third jersey down to 8. So they put it out to the public to come up with their new third jersey.
They got them up on the stream here if you are watching. I don't know if you want to
YouTube stream through sportscage.com. If not, we can paint the picture for people on the audio streams. Maybe you're on TuneIn or Alexa, whatever it is. I don't want to say Alexa because then Alexa start going crazy. And, of course, radio and 620 CKRM. But they do have the old, they call it the Captain Highliner look, which I never thought was that bad. People always were like, oh, it's stupid, it's ugly. I don't mind the Captain Highliner. Then they have one in the bottom right that will try. It basically just says Isles in big white lettering.
Or a white stripe with Islanders in like their red and orange.
Kind of an old schoolish blue and orange. Kind of an old school. Yeah, that one's. It looks. That'd be a nice sweater.
Oh yeah,
it's like a John Gregory sweater, the Riders, but it's got Islanders and a little bit of a curve. Then the other one's got the N and the Y. And then top left looks like a lighthouse. That would probably be the one out of all these, which I think they're all great. That would be the one that I would turf first, is the lighthouse one. But the question I have then today for people, what's an old jersey that you would like to see a team bring back? Or what's your favorite jersey of all time? It might not even be from a pro sports team. Might be a color. Two of mine are based on just straight color combinations. And they're not from pro teams. And get to them in a bit. Do any come to mind for you, Colson? When you think of an old, you're a basketball guy. You like your football too. But is there an old, basketball jerseys are pretty boring. Let's be honest.
Usually are. Honestly, back in I think it was 2015, 2016, they used to have special Christmas Day jerseys. Mm. I remember they had a couple years of those where those were really good. I'd have to look them up and find them for you. But while we were looking on this topic, I did find, talking retro jerseys, I think it was last year, there was a couple teams that were using the retro jerseys in the NFL, and then they were playing each other. And the fans were like, well, why don't you wear your retros? Have a retro game. Mm-hmm. Didn't end up happening. Mm-hmm. This year, the Seahawks and the Broncos have said, fine, we hear you. We'll wear our retros. So
those Seahawk retros are gross to me.
I not far off from you on that one. I like the helmets. I don't love the blue.
Yeah, I like Denver. Denver's old look. There's something there. Doesn't that look good though? Couple of old retros. So when it comes to the Riders, if people want to come at it on the text line 936-6262 with the Rider jerseys and the histories. Some of you will know this. I didn't until today. The Riders actually started with gold and purple in 1910.
Laker influence, or were they before the Lakers?
They were before.
There you
go. Blue and white, 1911. So Rob Vanstone is coming on right away. Maybe he knows this. The Riders were blue and white in 1911. Then that red and black, we have one of those in the studio here. The red and black, 1912 to 1947, looks very Ottawa-ish for sure. And then we went green and white from here on. But then there's some Rider jerseys as well. What are people, do people like? What was the third one that came out? Oh, this would be about 7 years ago now. Had all the wheat sheafs.
It was like the lime green.
Yeah, I like that jersey. It's kind of Oregon Duckish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mind that jersey. I like the Obsidians. I've never had to call a game. That would be tough to call. Another note, CFL-wise, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers wore green and white uniforms from 1930 to 32, according to my research guy, Tommy McGoogleton. 30 to 32, the Bombers are green and white. And then the Riders were blue and white, which I know there's some gold in there. That's the retro game we want to see, maybe, Colson, in the CFL. The Riders wear the blue and whites from 1911, and the Bombers wear their green and whites from 30 to 32.
That
the
feels
bizarro
so
world.
wrong.
For you Seinfeld fans.
That feels so wrong.
Get people watching. Got a good game.
They're watching and they're like, wait, which team am I cheering for? I'm so confused. Oh, boy.
The black and green jersey were nice. Marcel on the YouTube chat.
That was from like 2006-ish era, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, the blue, are you talking, Marcel? Are you talking the blue and green jersey that I always picture Kenton Keith? I think in it.
I think so. Hold on.
Who was the quarterback? Was it Nealon Green? Nealon Green in the black tarp? Some other people coming in. Riders wore red. Yeah, we talked red and black and whitish silver. Those were those ones. What about the U.S.? What about the CFL U.S. jerseys? Maybe people want to get in on that. I got it pulled up here. Oh boy, I don't mind the Las Vegas Posse one. Maybe because that was just such a dumpster fire and everything they did, starting with the anthem. We could play Anthem Guy. I know we have that from last year.
I'd have to find it, but it's somewhere.
The San Antonio Texans, I've never really looked at the logo. It kind of looks like Bob Poley with a cowboy hat on. Never really looked at it. So yeah, we'll have some fun today with that. I know Rob Vanstone will have something to say. Like I said, Arash and Glen Suitor for sure. Glen's got to have some favorite jerseys. Doesn't matter what league from way back. But let's get some of this Rider audio here. Coach Mace at practice today. So he talked about testing more teams, but that first half was a snoozer. And then did it take off? They had like a Jolt Cola, a Red Bull, and a couple. Come on, Mims and Jete, Double D out there. Wow. Mims wasn't even an option to take as an anytime touchdown, but Gente was on one site. The Yacht Club, I told them I got Jete for an anytime touchdown. They were freaking. They didn't know what site I went to. I had to even go look. I'm like, I don't know. What's the name of this thing? But no, we got him on that. And then on defense, Jake Mayer, not a bad quarterback. Does he have a lot to work with? That offensive line looks like trouble. We go with their long snapper and holder and everything they had going on in the kicking game there. But our defensive line was good again. If we look at what we on our side of the ball, Riders' defensive line was good, especially on short yardage. Coach Mace talked about that. 2.
Yeah, the more you can do, that job, or I should say that play is not a very fun play, but the people who are, majority used to it are the trench guys. So being able to have guys who can be multiple and swing on both sides of the offensive and defensive line, it just allows us to get bigger in certain packages. But again, it's studious for them. I can assure you, sitting and listening to an offensive play, you could get lost in a hurry, as opposed to defense. But those guys take the time with the offensive coaches just to make sure that they're prepared as well, whether they're starting on those units or if they're in a backup situation.
And then Mace said, what has led to the success on the run defense?
I think sometimes it's the flow of the game also can dictate that, but just the guys being dialed. There was early in the season we weren't off to a really hot start in that department. Things that we had to address. But it just really it came down to small details. We talk about it in 3 phases, being 1 to 12, and sometimes, specifically in the run game, it just takes one person not to do their job to turn a 3-yard run into a 75-yard run, right? So the guys have just been honing in on that, and it's turned out really well for us. It's just kind of been our standard since we've been here, and it continues to get better for us this year. Looking for that to continue.
We'll hear more from Coach Mace in a bit here. Like I said, Trevor Harris and Tommy Stevens as well. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Marcel says the Birmingham Barracudas was unique. Marcel. Yeah, it was. Those colors, because it kind of had like that teal, black, orange with a fade into white. Back then, that was hot though. Like those, who didn't have some sort of teal parachute pant or windbreaker in the mid 90s? I think everybody did. But yeah, I to each their own. The Barracudas one, I would say. Somebody else here says the Baltimore Stallions had a nice look. Actually, a few people are saying the Baltimore Stallions. Very simple. Very simple. Baltimore's nice. Was it blue, royal blue, silver, and white? Memphis Mad Dogs? Nah. That looks Bush League. That looks like a rec ball hockey team logo. Sacramento Gold Miners. A lot could have been done with that one, I think. And they just kind of left it. San Antonio Texans, though, as I look at that logo, that's actually not a bad look on there. You can have your state 936 62 62. Any old jerseys, doesn't even have to be CFL. Some old NFL ones too. I don't know about some of those. Like when the Green Bay Packers go with the Acme Packer, whatever that their old jersey was called. I don't like that one. Like you showed the Seattle, the Denver, anything from kind of that 80s, 90s. I don't mind. I mean,
Vanstone's a Denver fan, right? A Broncos fan, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that game.
Yeah. Well, let's go to break, and then we'll bring on Mr. Vanstone. It is the Sportscage Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries, main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Saskatchewan. However you are listening or watching the program, whether it's through one of the audio streams like Tune In, maybe you are in a podcast form listening to it tonight, live on 620 CKRM, and you can watch it through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. We'll be right back.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything: our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street. rmpchevrolet.com.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Missed any part of the show? Check out the podcast powered by Freeze Tolman at 620ckrm.com and sportscage.com.
Welcome back. Tuesday, Colson's with me sitting in. We're going out to Rob Vanstone here in moments. Text line. Crofty must have had these stored on his phone, or else he ran into the crawl space and pulled these out. He sent him in on the Prairieland Rentals text line pictures. The Duval teddy bears. So he sent in a jersey, a hockey jersey. It's that old, what's that material? Is that polyester? That old polyester. Is there a polyester wool combination in those jerseys? Those are good jerseys. You still look good in that jersey, Crofty, by the way. And then the Duval teddy bears Melton leather jacket. That's sharp. Good one. Good pull there. Have your say, 936-6262. Western Pizza. Get a wheel tonight. Some lasagna, ribs, salad. Souvlaki. Let's go out in the Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us, rider historian Rob Vanstone. Did you see that, what Colson had there, that the Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks are going to a retro game?
And that is my Roughriders excluded favorite sports uniform of all time. That blue helmet with the orange logo reminds me of Steve Watson, number 81, amazing receiver. YouTube him. It reminds me of Craig Penrose. It reminds me of John Huffnagel in the mid 1970s. The years I started: Otis Armstrong, Craig Morton, Haven Moses, Rob Lytle. I love those old Broncos uniforms. I don't know why they changed, but the first 2 years after they changed, they won a Super Bowl, so I ended up buying lots of those jerseys. But I missed that retro look. I just thought that was absolutely smashing, and still do.
Was that Denver's first jersey?
Their first jersey had like weird tacky socks. Like their first, I'm trying to remember the precise colors, but there was even a rider application to that because Dean Griffin was the Denver general manager, and he was previously the Roughrider GM and previously a Roughrider player and player coach. And Frank Tripucka was Denver's first big quarterback, and he's on the Ring of Fame in Denver, and they had to unretire his number 18 so Peyton Manning could use it, and they did that with Frank Tripucka's blessing. Wonderful guy to talk to. And I'm just meandering here, but
I want to see these socks. I want to see these socks that turned you off.
About their tacky old socks that they had. They went halfway up the legs.
Well, that's kind of football socks, though. Except you're in college. You don't have to. You can go with ankle socks in college. I think I don't mind those old Denver. The Seattle ones. Then looking at other old, and I love the old Patriots, like like the Patriot bending down, and that's not because I'm a Patriot fan. I've always thought that logo was really cool. The Raiders really haven't changed much over the years. The Bears.
You know what I always thought looked good, really good, was the predominantly red Atlanta Falcons jerseys. I thought those looked so sharp, and why they deviated from those in nice enough time to lose to Denver in the 1999 Super Bowl. But I don't know why they ever switched out of that red look. I thought that was about as tremendous looking a uniform saved the Saskatchewan Roughriders as I've ever seen. Even nicer than the Paper Boys touch football jerseys from the 1990s and 2000s. I proudly wore number 17. That was also my time in the 40-yard dash.
The Paper Boys.
With a Z at the end to be cool.
It wouldn't be a segment if we didn't talk a little 90s, 80s touch football. You know the Miami Dolphins, though? I will say that I'm a big color combination guy. I've always liked that color combination, that teal with orange with the dolphin or whatever. I've always kind of liked that one.
Especially, I always thought the road jerseys looked so good there too. I just thought those were tremendous.
Yeah,
and the old Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, Mercury Morris, Paul Warfield, Bob Greasy, Charlie Babb,
Ray Finkel,
former BC Lion Jake Scott, 2 interceptions in the '73 Super Bowl.
Okay, we can go back to jerseys in a bit here, but the game on Friday, I said it. You don't have to say it. A little bit of a snoozer in the first half, which happens in any sport. They're not all going to be absolute dandies. It's not a video game, but what we're seeing from Tommy Stevens, and now they're starting to do record talk here, Rob. Where do you land on that? Are you starting to fall into that where you're like, he could break Milt's record? Or are you going to wait for a few weeks or maybe a month yet?
I haven't gone quite there yet, but I did. I'm not sure if the story has been posted, but I wrote about Roughrider records this afternoon and what he is on pace to do. And Ken Carpenter holds the Roughrider single season record for touchdowns in a season with 18. So Tommy's only 7 shy of that, and he's got 10 regular season games to go. The Rider record for touchdowns by a quarterback in one season is 13. And Tommy's already tied with Ken Austin for second all time with 11. And Ken Austin got his 11th touchdown in the 16th game in 1992. So the pace that he's on, back-to-back 3 touchdown games, that's only happened a handful of times in Rider history. I was surprised that it had happened even that frequently, but it goes back to 1920 born and Brian Timmis. So there are precedents for it, nothing recent. And so, we're talking George Reed, we're talking Hugh Campbell, that type of era. And, and he had 4 touchdowns in a game with Calgary, so a case could be made that he hasn't quite reached his ceiling yet. So
what's his career number?
Pardon me?
What's his career number, CFL? I don't know if I know that
He is a 41. So he's moving up the ladder a bit in all-time touchdowns by a quarterback in CFL history. And if he keeps going at this rate, he's going to be cracking some pretty impressive echelons already, and he's only 29 years old. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes, because he's getting touchdowns by the bushel lately.
Sign him forever, lifetime contract. What can you say? Have you seen, and I guess it's under the microscope a bit because he's a local boy, in Deshaun Mims, but we go into this game and we got trouble in the receiver as far as injuries go. Okay, we got Mims and some kid by the name of Dylan Jette, where he was in camp. I think we've said his name 5 or 6 different times throughout the season. But what those 2 rookies did with Trevor Harris at the helm was pretty impressive, Rob.
It really was. In the first pass of the game, and 2 passes on the first drive were to Dylan Jette, and you could see right off the bat that he belongs, and he's really got some elusiveness after the catch and a terrific burst. And we saw that on the touchdown catch, where an 11-yard touchdown catch, 18-yard touchdown catch, and in the last 11 yards were hit a touchdown, and Trevor threw him open there too, and him the opportunity to run after the reception. And that's only it was his first start. He'd played the week earlier in Edmonton, hadn't caught a pass, and so many milestones were were caught by Dylan Jette, and it's really intriguing to think of what kind of trajectory he's on. And then you think, okay, Samuel Emelis and Kian Schaefer-Baker, when they get back, it's a nice problem to have, but there's just so much receiving depth. Not a new storyline given the way things have moved here in recent years.
I don't think you need to be a 20-year football coach or spend a lot of time with the game to say, like, this probably doesn't happen though the way without Trevor Harris. Like, having the veteran there, like you said, he kind of throws him open. He kind of puts it where it needs to be. Having Harris there, what a setup for these young guys. Oh, yeah, I mean, you really see the value of Trevor Harris, and that's not to diminish the abilities of the contributions of the young players, but when they talk about teammates, they talk about leaders. You want somebody who's going to make other players better, and I think the ceilings of the and the progress of the younger receivers is being accelerated by having the luxury of being able to work with Trevor Harris, and he will find out what a receiver's strengths are and gear his passes and tactics around that. It's, as opposed to saying, okay, well, we're missing Kian Schaefer-Baker, we're missing Samuel Emelis, and those elements are taken out of the offense. It's like, what does Dylan Jette do well? What does Deshaun Mims do well? What does Johnny Johnson III do well? An intriguing thing, or one of the intriguing things about Friday's game, is that the Roughriders put up 42 points, and they didn't have one receiver in the lineup who played in the 2025 Grey Cup. That tells you a lot. Isn't that something? Wow. It tells you about the depth last year, because the Riders won a Grey Cup without Keyshawn Johnson in the lineup, and it certainly tells you a lot about the depth this year. Del Duncan Busby wasn't in the Grey Cup?
No, he was a healthy scratch.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's a good one. You know what? And I love this because I love doing it on Tuesdays because I get to go through your X or Twitter posts.
I went a little crazy after the game last week.
It's good. Keep doing it. People love it. People love it, Rob. The one that I love, the Riders' net offense, 535 yards, was the team's highest since July 5th, 2015 against Toronto, where they had 579, including 70 in OT. The opposing quarterback in that game was?
Trevor Harris, and with Toronto. And Trevor went 30 for 38 in that game, and he went 30 for 38 this past Friday. How about that?
That's a goocher for Stand By Me fans out there.
And if you exclude overtime, the Roughriders' net offense was their highest in regulation time since July 1st of 2010 against Montreal. And that game went into overtime as well, but the Roughriders already had more yards of net offense over the 4 quarters before that game went to overtime than they did this past Friday, but not a lot. So somebody who was born that day could have gotten a driver's license in the time interval between the Roughriders putting up that much net offense in a game. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 61. I passed my exam on the 114th try. In case you're wondering why Albert Street and Broad Street now intersect, it was a little traumatic on those driver's exams for a while.
I think I've told the story on the show about my first driver's license. I don't want to get into that right now because my son's going to be going for it. I don't want him any bad habits. You know what stat though that you didn't have anything on X about it, but it was a long time with how good this team is this year and the record so far. But the league is good in general. But it took a while, surprisingly, for the team to get their first interception from the secondary.
Yeah, and then it was quite the interception by Jonathan Edouard, a diving pick. And I think that also is a testament to the team's depth. This is somebody who was available to anybody at one point not too long ago. And he had worked with Corey Mace in Toronto, and Corey really liked him. And suddenly he's starting as a defensive halfback in Saskatchewan and doing very well. One of 3 Canadian starters in the secondary, which is something we don't see very often either. Many times there's only one. And so, and that's being able to start the 3 Canadians in the defensive backfields opens up opportunities elsewhere on the roster. And, he's one of the faster players in the league. And the Roughriders also try to use that by putting him on side in select punt situations. So just a terrifically fun guy to talk to as well.
What did you
just
think
like Barney?
What did you think of Jake Mayer watching that game? There were at times I thought he played great. Eberhardt, what a receiver that guy is, found the right zone. There's a times though, Rob, I watch it and I'm like, I feel sorry for Jake. Like I just, the offensive line sometimes like he seems like he's constantly under pressure.
I thought Jake Mayer made some terrific throws with people in his face. Ottawa at one point was backed up deep in its own territory toward the south end zone, and I think it was early in the game. I think Jameer Thurman had registered a tackle for a loss right off the start, and he stood in against some pressure and threaded a pass right in there. And I don't think Jake Mayer is anything close to the problem in Ottawa. I think maybe the way the offense is performing is symptomatic of it. I always go back to 1979 when Tom Clements began the season in Saskatchewan with a team that started off 0-12, and Tom Clements was traded to Hamilton after 8 games. And Hall of Fame caliber quarterback before, certainly after, terrific player with Saskatchewan. He threw 2 touchdown passes and 11 interceptions. And there's only so much a quarterback can do if there isn't protection and if there isn't a system that's conducive to success. And I know a lot is getting heaped on Jake Mayer there, and certainly he has to take accountability for some of that as a quarterback. But I don't understand some of the commotion in Ottawa regarding the quarterback. I think if you look down the list of things that are troubling that team, I don't necessarily think quarterback is very high up that list. I thought Jake Mayer had a really courageous, strong game here on Friday night.
Okay, hang tight. I got a question for you here. He's our rider historian, Rob Vanstone, Denver Broncos fan. We'll go to break. It is a Sportscage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Have you seen the patio at PumpJacks Cathedral?
Seen it? I've practically moved in.
Do they at least charge you rent?
Only if I stop ordering food.
I don't blame you. Great food, daily food and drink specials.
30 beers on tap, including local favorites.
And there's no better place to catch the game with friends.
So what are we waiting for?
I'm waiting for this conversation to be over. Let's go.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Play of the game? Touchdown! More like the game to play. The new Saskatchewan Roughriders Scratch and Win ticket. It's your chance to win 10 years of Rider season tickets, a premium suite for the home opener and the Labor Day Classic, and tons of Rider swag. Plus, 2 chances to win $75,000. Tickets available at your favorite lottery retailers. Proudly brought to you by Sask Lotteries, supporting sport, culture, and recreation across the province. Please play responsibly.
The world is changing. From the misuse of AI and the rise of deepfakes to the dangerous spread of misinformation, it's getting harder for Canadians to separate fact from fiction. That's why having a trustworthy news source is vital. At Global News, we're committed to objective journalism that cuts through the noise. Stick to the facts. Global News, Canada's trusted news.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Welcome back for Saskatchewan Lotteries. One of the $75,000 Rider Scratch ticket prizes still out there. All the money stays in Saskatchewan, supporting sport, culture, and recreation. Rider historian Rob Vanstone is with us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. So here's a couple of text messages, Rob, as we talk about old jerseys. What would you like to bring back? Which ones kind of strike a chord for people. James says, hey, boys, Broncos Steve Atwater stopping Christian Okoye is one of the greatest collisions ever.
I had a fish named Atwater. Get the joke? I did have a goldfish named Atwater. Yeah, Christian Okoye absolutely standing up, absolutely being stood up by Steve Atwater. That was beautiful. I remember Steve Atwater had an interception in the Super Bowl against Green Bay, and I was so excited. And the Broncos gave it right back, and I remember just sagging in my chair, and I just thought, I'm going to be replaying that play for the next 30 years. And fortunately, it turned out lovely, but here I am now lamenting it.
Jeff text line says Seattle and Denver used to be old AFC West rivals in those jerseys that they're going to play in. You would know that.
My introduction to cheering for Denver was a game against Seattle, a preseason game in 1976. And this is in the pre-cable television days, or pre-Cambrian days, given my age. And I was listening to the Broncos versus Seattle on KOA Radio 850 Denver. And I thought that was very cool. And John Hufnagel actually played in that game for Denver. And that's what got me into cheering for the Broncos, was a preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks.
So you just picked it up because of the atmosphere that day? You could get the Denver station?
Yeah, I mean, that was my ticket to a lot of American sports, my AM radio. Yep. And that's why I cheered for the Denver Nuggets back then. David Thompson will always be my favorite basketball player, the Skywalker. And that 76 Broncos team wasn't bad. The 77 team with the Orange Crush defense went 12-2, got to the Super Bowl, and may have fared poorly against Dallas for the championship at stake. Craig Morton threw 4 passes, threw 4 completions and 4 interceptions that day. And but it was still an amazing thing for Denver to get to the Super Bowl in 1978.
You said Dave Thompson is your favorite basketball, not Dave Thomas.
David, did I say Dave Thomas?
No, he didn't. But it came in my brain. I'm picturing Dave Thomas shooting field goals in the old Weyburn High School gymnasium.
Yeah, David Thompson was an even better basketball player than Dave Thomas, believe it or not. Scored 73 points against the Detroit Pistons in April of 1978, went 28 of 38 from the field. He scored with 73 points without three-pointers.
Wow,
28 of 38 from the field and 17 of 20 from the free throw line. And momentarily was leading the NBA scoring race in the last days of the regular season. And then George Gervin went off for 63 for San Antonio and just nosed them out. But David Thompson, Michael Jordan's idol was David Thompson. That tells you what
Chuck
you need
Norris.
to know about David Thompson.
Yeah. If Dave Thomas is listening, though, we need your career basketball stats to compare Dave Thomas. So we had another text here. I've never seen this logo. The Houston Colt 45s baseball. The smoking gun logo. Team. I just pulled it up. That is a sharp logo.
Yeah, I think they became this. Did they become the Seattle Pilots, or did they become the Houston Astros? I have to Google this.
Houston's first major. Colson's thinking that they became the Astros. But yeah, that is not a bad looking logo. And then another couple other people are getting in on it here. Clarence says the old Winnipeg Jets logo.
Oh, absolutely.
I can buy in on that. Bob likes the Riders uniforms from the 80s. I think we all do. I think John Gregory's sweater from the 80s is my favorite Rider thing of all time. Cliff likes the old Patriot logo, so that's my team. He says I agree with Barney.
Those were really sharp. Those were really sharp.
But they had some lean years. Like the last team you want to use in original Tecmo Bowl is the New England Patriots. Like they're so bad.
What is that, like Bo Jackson era?
Well, Bo Jackson was in the first Tecmo Bowl. Bo Jackson and Lawrence Taylor were, like, if I remember correctly, unbelievable. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice were pretty good. And then it was Tecmo Super Bowl where Man, I remember using the Eagles all the time because it was QB. Didn't even use Randall Cunningham's name. It was QB Eagles. But you could just scamper with him. He had the jukes and the moves. But
I played my godson Eric Anderson in Madden, and he chose the Eagles. And Terrell Owens got 1,000 yards against me in one game.
That's a stat. That's a stat right there. That could be a record of some sort in one game. Winston likes the old Quebec Nordiques.
I think there were some issues on defense that day.
Yeah. The old Quebec Nordique jerseys are nice.
Those were nice.
I don't like when Colorado uses them, personally. I think those should have stayed.
The old Colorado Rockies jerseys. The Chico Resch jerseys with Colorado. The Lanny McDonald, Hardy Astrom Colorado, Lindsay Middlebrook, Colorado Rockies jerseys.
I was just going to throw out those ones. Okay, what about, did you know this? So I mentioned this at the top of the show, and I'm like, Rob probably knows this. It says, anyway, my friend McGoogleton says the Riders started with a gold and purple in 1910, where Curtis Backgammon in the back is working, and he said maybe it had something to do with royalty with the purple and gold. Do you know anything there?
I'm trying to remember. My memory's failing me here. That was their original jersey, and then they went to red and black until 1948.
There was a blue and white. They went blue and white one year. It says in 1911.
And then, 1912 to 1947 was the red and blacks. But they changed jerseys they changed colors the first couple of years. And and all the photos were in black and white, so it didn't really matter. and then I don't know the reasoning behind 1912, but that stuck for a long time. And then Rider board member named Jack Fife was in Chicago, and on business, and he happened to see these green and white jerseys on sale and brought them back, and so became the Rough Rider new colors.
Are you serious?
Thank you, Jack.
That's the story?
Yeah. Yep. So
that's awesome. You found a deal on some jerseys. Bring them back. The fellas are wearing these. And then the wild thing is what I'm reading. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers wore green and white from 1930 to 1932. So if we wanted to have a Bizarro game,
I didn't know that.
The Bombers could wear green and white, and the Riders from that 1911 year could go blue and white, and we could have like a Seinfeld Bizarro World game.
Oh my! Can you imagine that?
No. And then every team has to figure out where they can find the best deal for their jerseys for the rest of the season. That's their.
What a really sharp jersey was the Calgary Stampeder jerseys with the horse, that red look. Maybe I like that because I also really like the Atlanta Falcons jerseys from that era. But those simple red jerseys always really popped, and the BC Lions early 70s jerseys, the Jim Young versions. I always liked those as well.
Okay.
And Montreal, go watch the 1974 Grey Cup. The Montreal Alouettes the Johnny Rogers, Sonny Wade jerseys from the early 70s. Those are really sharp.
I'm a big Montreal Concords guy. Always have been. What would be your favorite if you had to pick one from the CFL USA franchises?
Oh boy, I always liked the Sacramento jerseys, and I just thought those were. If I recall correctly, you weren't that high on them based upon earlier dialogue in this program. But
no, I thought that more could have been done. I thought more could have been done with that one.
Maybe it's because I just saw them more. I thought San Antonio had a good look, but. Sacramento came here more than any American team, and always liked watching David Archie throw a football. Always liked watching Rod Harris catch a football. Ended up doing so with the Rough Riders, and so those were pretty cool games. The first time Sacramento came here, the Riders set what was then a regular season attendance record, 33,032 people on August 27th, 1993, and that was subsequently eclipsed several times, but that was a real happening in 1993 when Sacramento came here on their own plane, and amazing night.
Jeez. Said their own plane. Hey, Sacramento. Their own plane, Cole said. San Antonio Texans, the 1995, their logo guy looks a lot like Bob Poley in a cartoon character. I just noticed it today, and I'm like, that is an awesome logo. They're only 1 year, because they went from Sacramento to San Antonio. I'm a big Las Vegas Posse guy. Always have been too.
Oh, it's where Anthony Cavillo got his start. Ask anybody who played when the Riders visited Las Vegas in the summer of 1994, and it had to be the hottest game ever. It was apparently there was just nothing you could do to cool down. It was unbearable.
If I win the lottery, we'll do a bunch of like ESPN 30 for 30 kind of things. We'll just go around and we'll do stories on stuff like that. We'll talk to people that played in that game, and then we'll go on a day that it's that hot and then see how fast to cook an egg. Oh, geez, that would be gross. Imagine playing football. Like right now in Vegas, the other day, somebody's just there from here. It was like 48. I'm like, oh, how would you do anything?
I've talked to a few of the people who played in that game, and just there was nothing you could do to hydrate. It was absolutely suffocating. It was so awful that night.
There it is. There's the logo. Isn't that cool? If you're watching the stream,
it sort of looks like Hulk Hogan with a cowboy hat, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe I could see a little bit of Hulk. See a little bit.
Maybe
of
it's a mustache.
Yeah. All right, Rob. Of course, as always, this has been a lot of fun. We're gonna be talking jerseys for the rest of the day. Any other ones come to mind? Shoot us a text.
Well, the Weyburn Eagles Dave Thomas jersey. I mean, that's stuff of legends.
Yeah,
you can only find that at Choice Garage Sales now. So,
chat next week. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Barney. Take care.
Oh man, I love it. I love Tuesdays. Rider historian Rob Vanstone joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We'll go to break. It's the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon. Your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Great coaches make great calls. And at home, you're in control of the game. Add SaskTel TV to your lineup and enjoy popular channels, including sports in stunning 4K for as low as $40 a month. So, what do you say, Coach? Ready to add in the difference maker? Visit SaskTel.com/make-the-call to learn more. Conditions apply.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
What's the deal with flooring? Apparently, there are 75 shades of rustic oak.
No matter what flooring you need, the experienced local team at Flooring Superstore can help you find the right fit for your home and your budget. Whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile, vinyl, linoleum, artificial turf, floors for gyms, they've got it all.
If your decorating instincts have always missed the mark, maybe it's time you do the opposite. Visit Flooring Superstore.
Flooring Superstore. Quality floor covering at the best price. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Rent a water heater and water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
Big baseball game in Moose Jaw tonight. Miller Express hosting the Saskatoon Berries in Game 1. of the division final, 7 p.m. First pitch in Moose Jaw. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays on a bit of a heater. They're in Boston to take on the Red Sox back at home. 5:07. Canadian Junior Boys Golf Championships going on at the Wascana Golf Course here in Regina. Settle down Thomas Hung Zhao from Vancouver. He went 5 deep today, shooting a 67. He leads. There's a load of fellas at -4. Top Sasky boy, Arison Franklin from Saskatoon, shooting a tidy -270. And then our boy from Pilot Butte, Austin Nesbitt, Martin Collegiate, proud. He's sitting in 46th after a nice +173. That goes again tomorrow at the Wascana. Brought to you by Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater, softener together for just $1.20 a day. You also get $400 cash back. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. Hour 2 of the program's coming up. What does Arash think about this jersey conversation? Arash Madani is going to be with us. It is the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 p.m. Good afternoon. Mostly cloudy and 23 degrees in Regina. I'm Will Manzik from the SAS Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. There's a heavy police presence in downtown Regina on Hamilton Street by 12th Avenue. That's right next to the TD Bank. A handful of police cruisers along with a fire truck, ambulance, and 3 emergency medical service units are all on scene. Debris litters the street. Some of it even hangs from a tree. We don't know what happened, but we will update you when police provide more information. Regina police are investigating after 2 people were found dead early this morning on Elphinstone Street. Officers were called to the 1100 block. At around 4:30 this morning, the area was secured, and major crime and forensic identification officers were called in. Police are asking drivers and pedestrians to avoid the area while the investigation continues. The victims have not been identified. Anyone with information can call 306-777-6500. Maidstone RCMP are investigating after a fatal 2-vehicle collision occurred on Highway 16. Mounties say it happened at the intersection of Range Road 3273 and the highway. Authorities say an SUV and car collided, killing the driver and the sole occupant of the SUV. The driver of the car was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. While Mounties were responding to this collision, a second one happened on Highway 16 when a truck and motorcycle collided. No serious injuries were reported, and the driver of the truck was issued a ticket for following too closely. Saskatchewan is remembering a rare voice who helped put its stories on stage. Ken Mitchell died on August 5th in Regina at 85 years old, leaving behind more than 30 books and decades of teaching, writing, and community work. Mitchell helped create the Cathedral Village Arts Festival, the Saskatchewan Writers Guild, and Saskatchewan Playwrights Center. Lionel Schaefer is a longtime friend of Ken Mitchell, and he says Mitchell was one of the kindest people he knew.
He had a great way with people. He was an entrepreneurial spirit and just a really, really good person.
Friends say he believed everyone should have access to the arts, regardless of income. Wildfire smoke from British Columbia and northwestern United States are expected to bring hazy conditions to parts of Saskatchewan this week. Forecasts show smoke developing as early as today across southern areas, including Regina and Moose Jaw. The smoke will continue into Wednesday before easing off on Thursday, and it's not expected to be severe, but you may notice reduced air quality and a strong smoky smell. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather for Next Gen Coatings. Spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina.
Weather tonight becoming mainly clear and a low down to 9 degrees tomorrow. Partly sunny. We do have some isolated showers in the area and a high of 21. Tomorrow night, few clouds, low down to 10. Thursday, we are looking at a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 21. And then Friday, showers likely, high of 17 into the weekend. Saturday, looks to be cloudy on Saturday and a high of 21. Right now, downtown Regina, 12th and Rose, we have a partly cloudy sky, and it is 24 degrees.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now next gen coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings, 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Tuesday edition, Sask Lotteries, $175,000 prize still out there for the Riders scratch and win tickets, as well as season tickets for 10 years at last check was still available. Coulson is with me. Rob Vanstone was in hour one. We do have Arash Madani coming up momentarily. Out on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, because the New York Islanders have come up with their final 8 jerseys as their third jerseys. So we kind of looked at those. We saw them. Not bad. Then we started saying, well, what do people like in jerseys? What jerseys would people like to bring back? What was your favorite jersey? Maybe it's CFL. We've had some good pulls, like Glen and the Houston Colt 45s baseball. The smoking gun that we were just talking about, that was nice. A couple people digging the Sacramento Gold Miners. Rob Vanstone liked the Gold Miners. I like the color scheme. Maybe I got to take a deeper dive. I just thought more could have been done with the Gold Miners jerseys. Somebody says that David Archer was almost a rider. That's Brendan saying that. Now David Archer owns a deadly bakery in Waskesiu, Saskatchewan. I don't think it's the same David Archer, but it might be. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. The Pilots became the Brewers. Larry and Swift Current. The Pilots became... Is that the gun thing? What Pilots? What are you talking about, Larry? Help us out.
Milwaukee Brewers were originally the Pilots? Is that what he's saying?
I don't know. Larry, get back at us. Swift Current, what you mean by that one. 936-6262. We'll get to more of those. Marcel, the Riders need to bring back the white retro, or wear the white retro in the Banjo Bowl.
Yeah, the away retros.
Yeah, see that. I can get behind that. Let's find out what Arash thinks. Let's talk to Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
He's back at our favorite broom closet, the Montreal tennis event.
That's right.
That's good. It's quiet.
Right.
It's quiet.
It's very quiet. It's got Wi-Fi. Little broom closet to myself.
You could be like Elaine Benish. You should start ordering food to it. Just put a number on the door there. What else? What are you finding in there? You're looking over to the left.
There's a box of Triscuits, and I'm just wondering when the best before date.
If you lift up that box and it says win 2 tickets to the Montreal Expos final season home game, then you know they're too old.
Or it just lift the box and it just like disintegrates from the bottom.
I don't know if you saw the New York Islanders and their jerseys that people not bad. Like the top left one there, if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com, it's got a bit of a lighthouse-ish look. I would probably say those ones are my least favorite. The other ones I don't mind. Yeah, I never minded Captain Highliner one personally. Okay. But so then we got to thinking, like, what jersey would you like to bring back, or what are your favorite jerseys? Now, for me, I'll say one of them isn't really a jersey; it's more of a color scheme, which I can get behind any team that has the main Black Bears colors, that double blue. So that's where the Toronto Argonauts and some of the stuff that they run out in. I'm kind of liking that. Arash, what tickles your fancy?
Well, it's funny because I'm back in Montreal now. When I was first out of university college, I moved here, and I lived across the street from a subway station. Where
shout out, Lucky Loggers.
Oh yeah, where you could jump, Barney, onto the metro from Guy Concordia and go, 10 stops to P9. And you'd get off at the subway station there. You'd come up the escalator. There would be 3 scalpers charging $5 anywhere you want to sit at the Big O to watch the Expos. And, like, you're getting a chance to watch, like, we're talking about Vlad Jr. now. Like, Vladdy Sr. was playing for the Expos,
Pedro?
This is post-Pedro. This is like 2003. Like around, because the team left in 2004.
Larry Walker?
Long gone. There was a Jose Vidro in the mix. It was the
Moises Salou eating sunflower seeds like a son of a gun.
Frank. Okay, so I got a good story. So one Sunday morning, I told John Gibbons this story. One Sunday, we were somewhere on the road, and like water and coffee and chewing tobacco all started coming out of his nose. So one Sunday. Plans to go to the ball game. My roommate, myself, and a buddy from university. My buddy was a bouncer at a nightclub on Crescent Street. So it's a 1:00 game on a Sunday. He comes over and he says, "Boys, don't worry about it. Beers and food's on me at the ball game today." We're like, "Oh man, what happened?" And he said, "Well, like our club, the Padres were in town, and a bunch of the Padres, this is like early days of bottle service. We're in the VIP room at this nightclub in Montreal on Saturday night. Well, at like 2:45 a.m., Ryan Klesko comes up to my buddy and says, "Hey, I'm looking for some post-game entertainment." And Ryan Klesko had done the majority of the consuming of the bottle in the bottle service. Anyway, the VIP room went to like 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning.
Oh boy.
The bottles kept coming. There was company that showed up, and Ryan Klesko, just staggering out of the place with his company on each arm, gave my buddy $500 US on his way out. He's a big leaguer. And the next day, we get to the ballpark, we get a couple beers, we get a hot dog, Star Spangled Banner, Oh Canada, the starting lineups. Scratched for today's game, Ryan Klesko. And there's 3 dudes in the stadium, empty stadium, who just die laughing. And we wore out the third base coach for the Padres the entire game. Where's Klesko? We know what Klesko got up to.
Yeah. That probably happens a lot, eh?
It happens a lot.
That's a good... Hey, speaking of baseball, I didn't watch the game yesterday because I was sanding a deck, hurting my back. Okay. But what a weird, one of the weirdest situations. I saw it this morning on the rerun. I would say in baseball, but just in sport in general, happened in that game.
It was the weirdest thing. So 4 outs were needed to end an inning. The Red Sox scored a run they shouldn't have. The weirdest thing. So it's the 7th inning, corners loaded, 1 out. And the kind of issue, and then there's a pop out to center field. And everybody thought in the stadium that there were 2 outs, except there weren't. And then the Jays forced a double play going back to first, nobody tagged up. And then everyone's just looking around, not knowing what's going on. The umpires came on the mic and said, we got to go to New York to sort out what is happening here. And after a 15-minute delay, none of the runners on first and third tagged up. The Blue Jays doubled them off. Everybody in the stadium thought there were 2 outs. There was only 1, and they said, nope, the Red Sox run scores. It counts. Bizarre. Beyond bizarre. We can get into Rule 5C.09, whatever. It's obviously a flaw in the rule.
Well, hold on here. Before we go down the flaw in a rule, common sense, does that not trump in on everything here?
Apparently not when Rule 5C09 or whatever the hell it's called. So what's interesting is...
The Ryan Klesko written rule.
The Ryan Klesko rule. I did not know this, Barney. All those years I covered baseball, I did not know this, that the Jumbotron in every stadium, the ball strikes outs, it's not the home team that controls it. It's actually a Major League Baseball official. So, Colson, run a little zoom in of this. So on the Jumbotron, it says 2 outs, and then someone's like, oh, wait a minute, no, there's only 1 out. So while the ball was in the air, the video board at the ballpark went from 2 outs to 1 out. They still doubled them off. Everyone's pointing around looking confused. Look at dead center there, Barney.
Yeah.
2 becomes 1.
Wow.
It's The Price is Right. It's, let's spin the wheel.
The fix is in. Wow.
So my question is, the operator of the scoreboard, was he having one too many lemon squeezes in his sparkling water? Was he enjoying a poutine that splattered all over the keyboard and the joystick and he kind of panicked? What happened?
Whoa. But, okay.
Yeah.
Trying to wrap my head around. At the end of the day, the players and the first base and third base coach on the Red Sox should know what's going on.
Everybody should know what's going on. The umpires should know what's going on. It was just one of the weirdest things. The old adage is, anytime you go to a game, you might see something you've never seen before. There are very few people in the stadium that day. Like Dan Schulman's probably broadcast 4,000 or 5,000 baseball games in his life. And he didn't know what was going on. So, wild one.
I'd like to hear from the scoreboard operator.
Yes.
What happens there? Just after statute of limitations, like down the road when he's retired, take us through that predicament that you were in.
Yeah, so there's a social media account called MLB Scoring Changes. And they say that scoreboard operator is called a boss operator. Put boss in quotes because it's balls out, strike situation. And it's done by computer. And so what effectively what they're saying is all boss computers are tied to scoreboards for ball strikes and outs. And I guess something had happened in the previous play, so mistakenly they put 2 outs. And then once it went back to 1 out, it still doesn't make sense to me, Barney. I don't know.
There are coaches at the North Regina Little League that are like, what? How does this happen in the major? Okay, but let's get beyond all this, which is still a wild story. Can't wait till it comes out. My Blue Jays are rolling.
Your Blue Jays are all of a sudden 3.5 games out of a wild card spot. Now, they got a bunch of teams they got to leapfrog to get there. And Trey Savage just had meniscus surgery, so he's week to week. We'll see if he gets back in time, 6 weeks away. But they're winning games. You know, they win 2-1 yesterday. They're still not hitting, but they're winning games. And so, you know, remember what I was telling you last year, meaningful September baseball matters. Then you start scoreboard watching. Then you start following. Meaningful September baseball is about to become meaningful August baseball because they've suddenly got themselves back in the hunt.
Do they have the pitching to grind this out? Maybe. I like their offense is still MIA. Like Vlad still hasn't hit a home run at home. It's nuts. But I've been like all year he hasn't hit one at home. It's the craziest thing. So that's a stat that I didn't have on my keeping score at home cards. He at one point, I think he's surpassed it now, but up until a week or so ago, he had hit more home runs last October than he had this entire season. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Jeez. 3.5. So you're saying there's a chance. Lloyd Christmas. Here. Slimmy, Slammy, so Swami. You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Let's move over to my buddy actually is at the game. He just sent me a picture of a dollar hot dog watching the Reds. He's a big Red Sox fan, warming up. He's in the mixer. Okay, let's go to the CFL. Now, you haven't used this term yet for the Riders on their season, but Arash Madani thinks that this week is a must-win against Hamilton? Not just thinks, like believes. Look, this is the midway point of the season game. You're playing a Hamilton team that literally doesn't have a quarterback, that's hanging on by a thread. The Riders are 6-2. They have all these injuries. They have all these problems. This is the game they got to have. You're then 7-2. You're suddenly staying alive in the West. You're getting yourself a little bit of breathing room, especially with all these dudes banged up. There's going to be a gauntlet coming. And these are the games, the Ottawas, the Hamiltons, that you have to win because everything else is going to be a dogfight. Even Winnipeg. So I don't think it matters who the quarterback for the Tiger Cats is going to be. This is more about the Riders than it is the Ticats, than it is their opponent. Get this, and you're in a really, really good and comfortable situation at the midway point of the season. Yeah. Hamilton scares me. Just because you say that about every team every week. No, I didn't say that about Ottawa. I don't know. Trap game. Yeah. No, I don't use that term. Okay. I was good. Like, I was going to say Hamilton in Hamilton always spooks me. And I know they don't really have or who's playing quarterback for them, but they still seem like they're actually a good football. The bones of a good football team are there when you watch them. Yeah, I disagree. Because if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. On top of that, the Riders have one more rest day. Hamilton had to fly back from BC. Like, that was an ugly game against the Lions. If there was a game the Ticats could have kind of snuck away with, it was that one against the Lions. Rourke coming back, he was far from sharp, etc. You just don't have it. Like, it's funny, Toronto's 4-4, Hamilton's 3-6, and even though the Ticats beat the Argos because Liam Haralahu couldn't hit a field goal,
To me, they're not even in the same category right now.
They spook me. The boogeyman for me.
The boogeyman.
This way. What do you think Gino Lewis is doing right now? Who has Gino Lewis's agent been talking to?
If I'm Gino Lewis, I want to be talking to BC. I think they're first and foremost.
That's what I said. Glen Suitor didn't believe that last week. He went with another.
What did he say?
He likes the fit in Calgary.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely see that.
Something stupid happened. Can Montreal pull something out of their sport coat, chest vest region and be like, ooh, let's play this card and bring in Gino? Because he doesn't have to. He can go for a league minimum just to stick it to whoever he wants to. Like the money making thing, he might just say, you know what, I want to play and prove. So sign me for this, or then the cap doesn't become that,
Yeah, to me, it's not as much cap thing as it is ratio thing, and
ratio's key. Yeah,
and this has nothing like when you have a good thing going, do you want to mess with the juju? Like Montreal right now is a wagon, like they're firing on all cylinders, and like can Ed Hervey get over his own ego and understand that if I add Gino Lewis to this receiving core with Cody Fajardo and Austin Mack in this offense, we become instant. If we're not already, we become instant favorites to win the West. I don't know.
Huh. I just.
There's a lot of hard heads. There's a lot of hard heads out there in pro sports, Barney.
I was hanging on to maybe Dante Myers coming back, but I don't know if you saw the story that a young field reporter in Cincinnati did, and Dante Myers is turning heads at Cincinnati camp.
Really?
So even if he doesn't make the team, if they're talking about him and he's that close, you've been around this a lot more than me or any of these other people texting in here. If it looks that promising for him, you think a practice roster spot is in his future.
A lot still has to happen. You got to play the preseason games. You got to play well in the preseason games. You got to emerge out of all of this healthy, because it's the easiest thing to waive injure a non-NFL vet, et cetera, et cetera. It's still very early, but it's like good for Myers that he's on the radar.
Yeah. What do you think about Montreal and Ottawa? Can we do some load management speculation here?
So I was thinking about this actually this morning. So the Riders running backs coach, Andrew Harris, I am convinced that the Bombers don't win the Grey Cup, their first Grey Cup in forever in 2019, if Andrew didn't get the suspension for 2 games. Remember, it was later in the season. He had to sit for 2. Running back, you're getting beaten up, bruised, etc. And not only did he get to rest, recover, recoup, etc., but it lit a fire under his butt, and on they go. Every other sport's doing it right now. And we understand more than ever rest, recovery, etc. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself about the mojo and the juju, but the Alouettes have a bye week next week officially. They have an unofficial bye week. Sorry, this week they have an official bye week this week. They have an unofficial bye week next week against Ottawa. So sit Davis Alexander for 2 weeks. Here's hamstrings need time. I'm not saying the hamstring's an issue now, but it can flare up at any time. He's in all the meeting rooms. Have him do some practice, etc., etc. Sitting out 1 game, getting 2 weeks of not being hit, not having to pound away on the artificial turf, I think it would do him wonders. And then he comes back for August 28th against Winnipeg, which effectively at that point gives him 20 days between games. That to me is, and I don't think it's going to happen, Jason Moss doesn't come across as somebody who'd want to do something like that. I think it just, for the body, for the long term of November, etc., I think that would do Davis Alexander a world of good.
I like that play. Yeah, because they play, so bye week this week, then he's off, like practice or do whatever next. That's a lot of rest. Midnight move Terry goes in at quarterback. Terry Wilson.
Yeah, your boy.
Yeah, with his duffel bag on the sideline, just in case I got to get out of town. I bring my duffel bag to the barn. Okay, before I let you go, and I know you're in the broom closet, I don't know how many minutes you got booked in there on the sign-up sheet. But
I have all the time in the world for Brian Golly. Don't you worry.
You got bring something to cook in that microwave tomorrow. On Thursday, bring something gross. Bring some fish or something, and just stink Triscuits and Captain Highliner's fish.
Oh man.
Okay, I want to back to the jersey thing. What's that? Yeah. Okay, we didn't ask your jersey. Colson's saying. Yeah, you said the Expos. Didn't you?
Expos. Let's look at a couple of those throwbacks. Yeah, look at these.
That is sharp.
The Expos throwback cap,
which has gained in popularity over the last few years.
Sure has. They're visiting jerseys, the baby blues, and I love that Colson picked Gary Carter #8. What a veteran move.
Those powder blue, those are a sexy jersey. You roll into any stadium, and those jerseys reek of intimidation.
You get respect too.
The ladies love them.
There you go. But just like nobody can hate the Expos.
Yeah. What about the old? I asked Rob Vanstone this in hour 1, and I'm gonna play with Glen Suitor in hour 3. The old USA CFL franchise. Now I don't want to put you on the spot with some of those logos, but which one? If you could bring back one, if we could have a throwback game,
Shreveport. The Shreveport Pirates, the brightish purple. Zuma Okeke, the Hall of Fame offensive tackle who spent most of his career with the Alouettes, went from Shreveport to Baltimore to Montreal. They were my favorites.
I don't have that one on my thing here. Hold on.
No?
Shreveport Pirates images. You got it, Colson? Meh. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's yours?
Las Vegas Posse.
There we go.
I think so much could have been done with the Sacramento
Gold Miners. Yeah.
Gold Miners. Not a sharp, and then I don't know. I love the logo. Show them the logo of the San Antonio Texans. I forgot about how good this logo was. Who does this when Colson finds it? When you first look at this quick, I want you to say, who does this kind of look like?
I don't know if I can remember a player on the San Antonio Texans. Did Dunnigan have a cup of coffee? San Antonio Texans CFL roster. There's going to be... David Archer was there. I forgot about that.
Did he play with every American team before buying the bakery in Waskesiu?
There you go.
Man, Memphis Mad Dogs is bad. That's a bad logo.
Malcolm Frank, who was great in Edmonton all those years, the defensive back.
Someone said Birmingham Barracudas. I don't like that logo at all. Everyone to each their own. Baltimore was good. That nice combo. Looked good. Simple.
By the way, if you go to the Wikipedia page of the San Antonio Texans, a full shout out to Dan Ralph. Dan is a sports writer for the Canadian Press who's been covering the CFL all the way back to 1996 when he was writing about U.S. expansion in the CFL. So he's been covering the league for at least 30 years. So shout out to Dan.
Dano. All right. Somebody texted in here, Captain Highliner breaded cod with shrimp scampi tomorrow in the broom closet. That's tomorrow's meal. Tomorrow's lunch in the broom closet. Okay, Thursday, my man. We'll talk to you. This has been fun. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks, boys.
There he is, Arash Madani and Coast to Coast of the Arash Madani. Brought to you by Brian Golly. Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly. I wonder what Brian Golly which one his favorite old CFL logo would be from the U.S. teams. Actually, when I pull up the Sacramento Gold Miners jerseys and this T-shirt, they could be up there for me. That isn't bad. What's that green called? It's like a kind of like a what would that
turquoise or teal?
Maybe they were like obsidian on the other way. They kind of like as a teal mixed with green, mixed with Memphis Mad Dogs. No, not doing it for me. That's gross. Las Vegas Posse. I don't know why. Just kind of very simple. Black and gold. LV Posse. Jeez. Do we still have that video of the anthem?
I would have to find it.
Sam Boyd Stadium. Jeez. We got to play that at least once a year. Maybe today's the day we play it. Because there's some people out there that I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. There would be some people listening today that will have never heard it. The Canadian National Anthem, Riders in Las Vegas. We'll pull up the year. Sam Boyd Stadium. We'll try and get it. Sportscage on Tuesday for our friends at Saskatchewan Lotteries, where I said the Riders scratch ticket. 75,000. 75 still up for grabs there. Sport, culture, and recreation in our province. That's where the money goes. That's where the benefit is. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. And as always, we're on 620 CKRM.
We asked Karen about how easy it is to invest her money with Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions.
All I do is when I have money to invest, I call Brian. I ask him, what would he do? A lot of times I'll say, what would you do? And he just tells me what he would do. And then I just say, okay, here's what I have. And overall, he's made it very easy, very simple.
Get started today at smartinvestingsolutions.ca.
Is it time to refresh your cottage this summer? It's easy with lakeside deliveries from Freeze Tallman. Whether you're rebuilding the deck, fixing the dock, or taking on a full cabin project, Freeze Tallman delivers the building materials you need right to the lake. With reliable service and delivery you can count on, you'll spend less time running around and more time enjoying the weekend. Start your summer project at freezetallman.com. Freeze Tallman. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years.
A potluck in summer? Heck no. I'm not cooking for 30 in my sweltering kitchen. I'm bringing Western Pizza. That's the very definition of working smarter, not harder. Be the potluck hero and roll up with fresh za as your coworkers try to figure out which homemade dish gets the one spoon from the office kitchen. Or as Auntie Janet tries to shoo away the flies attacking your egg salad sandwiches, baking in the sun. Nope, it's Western Pizza for the potluck win. Dine in or take out today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Kelln Solar. Thinking about saving money by using solar power? Kelln Solar is a local family company that can put solar panels on your home, business, or farm. KellnSolar.com.
Okay, I have one. You have how many?
Just two, I think it was.
I kind of have two, too. Okay, you go first. You lead the way.
All right. First one is we have a new world record for the fastest mile while pushing a stroller. So I'll throw the video up here.
Baby's having. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
well,
that baby is.
My wife
look at the
would
legs.
kill me. Your wife would kill you if you did that with your kid. If you're watching the video, this guy is this not AI?
This isn't. This happened at the Guardian Mile in Cleveland on August 9th. So this weekend.
He's in a full sprint pushing
embarrassed on his
daughter. It looks like a girl.
Yeah, little girl. she's just kicking away. Yeah, he finished his mile in 4:17, by the way.
He's switching
which is
hands,
insane.
wheels locked in.
But yeah.
This is.
I thought it would have been lower.
See that hand switch? That was seamless.
What's a average person run a mile in? I guess I should go try and do it. I don't know.
Average
wouldn't hurt. This totally look. This guy's running way too fast with a kid in the stroller. I guess there's nothing. It's a pretty flat surface.
The average mile run time, according to Google AI,
6:20.
9 to 10 minutes.
What?
For brand new runners, usually takes 10 to 12, and for fitness enthusiasts, 6 to 8 minutes.
I'm a fitness enthusiast. I own a pec deck. Jeez, that's nuts. That's a great find, Colson. If you're not watching the stream, you can go look it up or watch the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, I'll bounce to me and then we'll go back to you. The Regina Thunder shellacked the Edmonton Wildcats 56-1 on the weekend. Whew. Never in doubt. But how about this kicker for the Thunder? Goes by the name of Harry Case.
Mm-hmm.
They call him the File. His kicking, he had 2 for 82 yards, 50 long. Okay, that's not that, whatever. But let's go to his field goals. 6 for 6.
All right.
Long was 44 yards.
That's decent.
5 for 5 on converts. Keep the change. Harry Case from the Regina Thunder. Clutch performer. Going to get him on the show. He's from England. Literally.
There we go. Okay, my other one here. Does the name Cruz Paredes ring a bell?
Is it Renee's
I have
nephew?
No idea if there's any relation. But he's 16, lives in Calgary, and the Flames tapped him on the shoulder to build them something, and he built them a replica of their new home, Scotia Place, completely out of Lego.
Sure, that looks good.
So on the stream, you can see on the right side there, that's the Lego one. And here, I'll throw up the full pictures of it. But,
That's nice.
So
wow, that would have taken a lot of time.
I mean, he built it before they finished the real thing, so.
Yeah. Wow, that's... How old is he?
16, according to the article, yeah.
And then, not really clutch, but Team Canada's men's flag football team at the World Championships, which starts on Friday, they're 1-0. Let that sink in. Starts on Friday.
Starts on Thursday.
Starts on Thursday. Could start today. They're still 1-0 because Nigeria, they couldn't get passports, couldn't get visas. So they are out of the tournament. Luckily for the Riders, that's who they played in pool play. So, or the Riders. Team Canada, they're 1-0. The women are also in Dusseldorf, Germany. We got to keep tabs on that. I'm planning to watch it, but I think it's at some real funky times because 8 hours difference, 9 hours difference in around there,
something like that.
I really want to watch it. The games are short. That's the thing.
Canada's first game will be against Austria at 11:45. I don't know.
11:45 our time or PM?
I am figuring that out. It just says 11:45 in front of me, and I'm like, is that...
We'll keep you up to date.
Yeah. Is that our time? Is that their time? I don't know.
You know what remember when we were really cool and we first started and we started talking roof ball?
Oh, yes.
And some people might not have been listening to the show back then, but listen to us now. It's in the States. I don't think there's a Canadian following, but it just had the U.S. Open of roof ball.
Yeah, this last weekend.
You're sitting there driving or sitting on the boat or whatever right now going, what are these two buffoons talking about? It's literally what it sounds like. And you played this as a kid. You throw a football onto a roof, you try and hit the stack, the venting, because then you get extra point. You remember the point. You remember the points better than I do.
I'm trying to find it as quickly as I can.
And then you have to catch it. It's a football on a roof, so you don't know kind of exactly how it's going to bounce. This is almost a professional sport now. It's on ESPN.
Yep.
They just had the U.S. Open, and tomorrow we are going to talk to one of the organizers.
Are we?
We are going to talk roof ball. We were roof ball when roof ball wasn't cool. The country song.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Let's talk roof ball then. Let's get into roof ball. I love it.
Nice.
Okay. Clutch Performer is for Kelln Solar. Lumsden, Saskatchewan, family-run business. Solar panels on your house, on your cab, whatever. They can help you out. They can tell you if it's even possible. If it's not, they're going to say, not an option. And then if you have a livestock operation, like our boy Jeff down in Val-Marie, call up Kelln Solar, troughs. You can go to their website. It has everything you need. If you're a livestock guy or girl, you need to talk to them. Family-run business in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Kelln, that's Kelln Solar. Look them up. Go to the website. Okay, Colson, back to the Prairieland Rentals text line. See some of these handles on YouTube. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. I'll go with Sando. He says the San Antonio Texans logo look hands down like pound for pound Bob Poley.
That's what you said.
Thank you, Sando. Coming in on that. I think we're in the same wavelength on that. Some people say, a couple people saying, yeah, Matt Dunnigan played for Birmingham, all that. We started talking about the New York Islanders, and they have it down to 8 for their third jersey. So we're like, what jerseys do people like? What would you like to bring back? What's an old school jersey that you are like? So 936 62 62. San Antonio Texans, NHL, California Golden Seals. That's Sharky texting in. California Golden Seals was kind of a cool jersey before their times. You read the story about how they painted the skates is funny and how heavy they became. CJ's going back to the baseball. How can big league players and managers not know how many outs there are? Exactly, CJ.
It's like the easiest part of counting for the game, right? Is the outs. You go to 3. That's it.
There are literally, maybe not now because we're in August, 100 volunteer coaches tonight at softball, baseball, whatever games. They will know how many outs. Whoa, tag up. In the majors, in front of 30,000 or 20,000 at Rogers Center, go run, whatever. I don't know, I'm hungover.
You know refs when they have like the straps around their fingers?
Yeah, for football, to how many downs there is.
Yeah, apparently that started with baseball for counting the outs. One hand is to count outs, the other hand is to count balls, or strikes. I mean, strikes and balls. So if you've got that simple, then all you have to remember is outs. So I don't know.
When I reffed football, they gave you that thing, and I never used it. It kind of almost caught me a couple times, but I was like, oh, I forgot. What down is it? So I just keep tracking the old noodle. How did you see this picture? Prairieland Rentals text line that came in from Rob in Rosemont.
I did. I grabbed it real quick here so I can throw it up.
Rob in Rosemont send us Charter Deputy, Las Vegas Posse, June 29th, 1994. He says he found it on eBay. I love it. Good stuff. Rose, thank you, Rose. Rose, you're our fact checker too. Continental Europe is 8 hours ahead of Saski at the moment. Both times I've been to Continental, it's all been 8 hours. London, Scotland, all in that.
I think most of Europe is one time zone because they're like, it's just easier to work together then. So
I think Finland was different.
I think they get far enough, whichever direction that is, east. They get far enough east. Yeah. They go an hour or two over. But
Russia just takes over because it's right next door. It's be like, you're on whatever time we tell you to be on. Manzi says, I loved rocking my OG Florida Panthers jersey in 5th grade. That logo was on a different level when it came out. I don't know if I like that one, Manzi. But to each their own. To each their own.
The panther with the claws.
Yeah.
That one.
I think it's because my son was they called him the toe. What were we called? In Regina minor hockey, and it was that logo. And everyone just kind of like, we got the worst unis. Out of all the teams, we got the worst unis, and I agreed. So, but hey, again, to each their own. So I said Maine Black Bears, more because the color scheme. You can pull this one up when we go to break, Colson. Another one of my favorite jerseys. I would say it's the color scheme, but it's also the jersey. It's simple. Detroit Little Caesars hockey team. The Detroit Little Caesars hockey team.
All right.
You're pulling it up.
Do
you see that color? Do you see what they got going on there?
Baby blue.
Orange and the powder blue.
Yeah, with a little cream mixed in.
Oh yeah. That's a good combo. Sharp kit, as the kids say.
One thing that I also would say I appreciate in jerseys is when they have that hidden pattern in it. So like when the Riders have the wheat shields in it, when the Alouettes a few years back, they had the wings on their shoulder pads. I also appreciate University of North Carolina. Their what is that patching called? I
have no idea what you're talking about. Is there something? There's something hidden in those?
It's not hidden. It's something that it's part of their brand coloring, right? Hold on.
You know the other thing while you look it up, the other thing that I pulled up about jerseys, is the Oregon Ducks. We have some Oregon Duck fans that usually text in here. The Oregon Ducks never wear the same combo twice in a year.
I would have suspected there might be one or two games that are the same, but it doesn't surprise me that it's completely new every game.
Phil Knight, Nike, you can kind of do that. And then they're selling merch. They're not dumb. Let's sell some merch. Yeah. Oregon's got nice stuff there. I really love UCLA's colors. The Bruins. USC is pretty good too. So now I'm going down the college. Maine Black Bears though. Maine Black Bears for me. That hockey. That's good. Andrew texted in chevrons.
Chevrons are like just the diamond shape, but it's like a sweater, an old sweater vest, that kind of patching. That's what North Carolina does.
Not Argyle.
I think it might be Argyle. But I just appreciate that's what they chose and they stuck with it. And I'm like, hey, that's unique. I appreciate that.
I have an awesome Argyle sweater I bought from the old course at St. Andrews. I think I wore it twice, and every time I look at it now, it's like I would look like a sausage wrapping casing if I put that thing on.
You got to put it in a jersey thing like Eric Francis.
I'll end up giving it to the boy. That's what I will do. It's a sports cage for Sask Lotteries. Some of these text messages are good. Coming in on the text line, we'll go to break. We'll be right back streaming at YouTube.
Have you seen the patio at PumpJacks Cathedral?
Seen it? I've practically moved in.
Do they at least charge you rent?
Only if I stop ordering food.
I don't blame you. Great food, daily food and drink specials.
30 beers on tap, including local favorites.
And there's no better place to catch the game with friends.
So what are we waiting for?
I'm waiting for this conversation to be over. Let's go.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Great coaches make great calls. And at home, you're in control of the game. Add SaskTel TV to your lineup and enjoy popular channels, including sports in stunning 4K for as low as $40 a month. So, what do you say, Coach? Ready to add in the difference maker? Visit SaskTel.com/make the call to learn more. Conditions apply.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at WorksafeSask.ca.
It's time for Sportscage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Okay, if you haven't won anything in the last 30 days on CKRM and you have a telephone, you need to call us for this. Texts don't work. 306-936-6262. It's for PumpJacks Cathedral. I went before the game with Sharky and Carrie, and we had a great time. Great place before a football game. After the band was warming up, I'm sure that band was sizzling after. Lots of taps, lots of environment. The patio is really good. PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert in Regina. Okay, I got to find my question. Here it is. For $100 at PumpJacks, you have to call 936-6262, area code's 306. Toll free, 1-866-767-0620. We're going kind of off the board here a bit. Okay, here's your question today. Name the first Canadian CFL team to have their own airplane wrapped in team colors and logo. 306-936-6262. First Canadian CFL team to have their own airplane. Call now.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, Moose Jaw Temple Garden Center, and online at extremehockey.net.
Hardball tonight in Moose Jaw. Miller Express hosting the Saskatoon Berries Division Final. Game 1, best of 3, 7 p.m. Great night for a ball game. Red Sox are back in Toronto. The Blue Jays are looking to make it 2 in a row against the Stockings. 5:07 in around there. First pitch. Canadian Junior Men's Golf Championship going on in Regina at the Waz today. Let me just refresh the page here in case anyone is coming. Nipped them. But it was a fellow out of Vancouver by the name of also known as Thomas Hang Zhao. Went 5 deep, 67. There's 7 others at -4. Top Sasky players in 9th. Arison Franklin from Saskatoon, -270. And then Austin Nesbitt, shout-out Pilot Butte product, Martin Collegiate, +173, sitting in 46. Nice there. Sportscage.com poll. You've been commissioned to build a Mount Rushmore of Roughrider quarterbacks. If Ron Lancaster, Ken Austin, Darian Durant are already included, who would be the 4th? Vote at sportscage.com. It's for Extreme Hockey, where they have the best staff. They could fit you any budget, any player. Extreme Hockey, 3 locations: McIntyre Street in Regina, the Cooperator Center, Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw. Who do we got on the line, young Coulson?
Jeff in Regina.
Jeffrey in Regina. How's it going today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. What's your favorite jersey of all time, Jeffrey?
I'd have to say the New Jersey Nets from the 80s.
Wow. That's a pull right there. Not bad. Not bad. What's your favorite Rider jersey?
I'd actually have to say I like the one that they did the promotional with the Wheat Chiefs years ago on the helmet.
Yeah.
Like it was, I don't know, early 2000s.
Kind of that limeish green one?
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Jeff. Okay, here you go. $100 at PumpJacks Cathedral we're playing for. First Canadian CFL team to have their own airplane wrapped and in team colors with a logo.
I believe it was Sacramento Gold Miners.
Canadian. We need the Canadian one.
Canadian. Oh, I'm sorry. I would say with Toronto Argonauts.
Close, Jeff. Stay on the line. You still win a lunch to PumpJacks Cathedral. The answer is, and you can go and look it up, it's actually Montreal Alouettes. It's a sharp-looking plane, and they are... When do they come here this year? October 17th. You can find it at the airport. So, yeah, we'll play next week. That means $150 on the line to to PumpJacks Cathedral. Break or Raymond? We're going to break. It's a Sports Cage. We are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Linda had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
He's always well prepared and has answers for us. We take it as gospel, and he's led us down the right path so far.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
We would recommend Brian anytime, and we would recommend him to anybody.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at worksafesask.ca.
Don't miss a minute of Sportscage. Podcasts are posted at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
Glen Suitor coming up in hour 3. Shout out Zach on the Prairie Land Rentals text line as well. He says, and this could be erroneous information, but I'm going to take Zach at his word because with a name like Zach, he's got to be an honest fellow. The Las Vegas Posse's old equipment was used for the Prairie Thunder when they first started the team. If that's true, Zach, thank you very much for that. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. We're joined by Brian Raymond from Flowing Springs Golf Greens. All right, I got to tell you something, Brian. First, Luke Mullender comes up to me on Friday and says, so when are we getting out there to play our match at Flowing Springs? I said, well, when Dave Thomas is healed up and get out there and play. But the one thing, I played twice this weekend, the bugs. The bugs are going away. It is beauty time to play golf.
You know what? I haven't heard anybody complain about the bugs probably for about a week now. And right now it is absolutely gorgeous out here. The temperature's almost perfect. Just a little bit of a slight breeze, but we haven't had anybody talk about mosquitoes. But you know what they have talked about? Ball marks on the green.
Oh.
This is a public service announcement for all golf courses. Golfers, fix your pitch marks on the greens, please.
That is such a good point. Like it's brutal that people can't figure that out. I tend to try and fix as many as I can when I'm on a green. But yeah, that you bring up a good point, Brian. But let's get down to what people want to hear. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We got some specials.
Yes, indeed. Every Monday and every Wednesday, if you're a senior, that means over 60, or if you're a female, you get to play the golf course for just $42. And all you need after that is your cart if you don't want to walk. After 3 o'clock every day right now, it's $40.50 to play. And right now after 6 o'clock, $22.50 to play. I say right now because in a few weeks we'll probably move those guys back. And you know what? If you only want to play 9 holes, not a problem at this golf course. You just have to call and let us know.
People can walk the course. You can get a cart, whatever you want to do. And also, Brian, I'm sure you still have room if people want to get out, maybe do a little corporate outing in September.
Absolutely. We've been doing a little bit of that lately, and getting into September, yeah, you're getting to the days where, we're starting to wonder where the summer went. But by all means, if you've got a small tournament you want to put on the golf course or even a bigger tournament, please let us know. We'll help you out.
Driving range is awesome. All right, Brian, we're going to talk again on Thursday. But in the meantime, if people want to take advantage of the deals, the best way to get a hold of you?
All you have to do is give us a call at 306-543-550. And you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com, our website.
Excellent, Brian. We'll talk to you again on Thursday.
Take care.
There he is, Flowing Spring. Great driving range as well. Everything's grass. Perfect to go to. Hour 3 of the program is coming up. We're going to do SaskTel Pick the Score and also Glen Suitor. It's the Sports Cage. We're back after the news.
Proudly broadcasting from Treaty 4 territory, the homeland of the Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, Saulteaux, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
The news is brought to you by Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of Saskatchewan's biggest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps. CrestviewChrysler.ca.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. Mostly cloudy and 25 degrees in Regina. I'm Will Manzik from the SAS Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. Regina police are investigating 2 deaths that happened on Vanstone Street earlier this morning. Officers say they found 2 people on the 1100 block at around 4:30. Both major crimes and the forensic identification units are helping with the investigation. People are being asked to avoid the area and to use another route. The victims' names have not been released, and anyone with information can call Regina Police 306-777-6500. There was a heavy police presence in downtown Regina on Hamilton Street by 12th Avenue. That's right next to the TD Bank. A handful of police cruisers along with a fire truck, ambulance, and 3 emergency medical service units were all on scene. Scaffolding and other debris littered the street, some of it even hanging from a tree. We don't know what happened, but we will update you when police provide more information. A 2-vehicle collision west of Marshall, Saskatchewan has left 1 person dead and another in hospital. Maidstone RCMP say it happened yesterday afternoon when an SUV and car collided at the intersection of Range Road 3273 and Highway 16. The driver and sole occupant of the SUV died at the scene. She was identified as a 78-year-old woman from Maidstone. The driver of the car was also the sole occupant of that vehicle, and they were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. While Mounties were responding to this collision, a second one happened on Highway 16, where authorities say a truck and a motorcycle collided. No one reported serious injuries, and Mounties say the driver of the truck was issued a ticket for following too closely. Smoke from ongoing wildfires in BC, Washington State, and other western regions is beginning to drift into Saskatchewan. The heaviest smoke is expected south of Regina and near the U.S. border, with hazy conditions forecast through tomorrow. While major health impacts are not expected, Saskatchewan health officials are encouraging residents to take precautions. People with asthma, heart, or lung conditions, children, older adults, and outdoor workers are considered most at risk. Ontario is also dealing with major wildfires, and Natural Resources Minister Mike Harris says the province is beginning to receive some outside help. Harris says there are more than 150 Ontario crews who are on the ground and another 100 supporting them in the air. He adds that other firefighters from Mexico are also helping with suppression efforts. Ontario's Emergency Preparedness Minister Jill Dunlop says 14 communities have been evacuated because of wildfires, with more than 1,000 evacuees still being hosted elsewhere in the province. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Matt Fisher here, General Manager at Crestview Chrysler. You know, our staff here is the best in town, so anytime they're ready for a new vehicle, they get the best price. For a limited time, we're giving that same discount to you. And you know what that means. You pay what we pay. We got a huge selection of Ram trucks, Wranglers, Durangos, Pacificas, and everything in between. If you're shopping for something new, this is officially the best time to stop in and see us. Don't miss employee pricing at Crestview in Regina.
Weather for Next Gen Coatings. Spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina. And Kevin's Marine. Make the most of summer with a boat or pontoon from Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. kevinsmarine.com.
In your precision weather forecast tonight, mainly clear, a northeast wind to 10 to 20 kilometers an hour, a low of 9. Tomorrow, mainly sunny, isolated showers, a north wind between 10 to 20, a high of 21. Tomorrow night's low, 10. Thursday, partly sunny, an east wind between 15 to 25, gusting to 40, a high of 21. Friday, showers likely, a high of 17. Saturday, considerable cloudiness, a high of 21. Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon 22, Swift Current 21, Assiniboia 24, Broadview and Moosomin 24, Yorkton and Melville 22, Estevan 25, Weyburn 25. Right now in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy. There's a northwest wind of 13, gusting to 31, and it's 24 degrees. In Regina, it's mostly cloudy, a northwest wind of 10, and it's 25 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to our daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now next gen coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings, 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
This is the year to own the boat of your dreams. At Kevin's Marine, discover legendary Lund boats, built for a lifetime of serious fishing and family fun. Stretch out and relax, or enjoy the day with family on a brand new pontoon from Bentley or Crest, or make a splash in a 4-wind sport boat, all powered by trusted Mercury 4-stroke motors. Right now, get manufacturer rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing. Make decking easy with Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Visit Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel or kevinsmarine.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
If you miss any of this program, you can go back and grab it in podcast form, audio, or you can watch it in YouTube down the road. All brought to you by Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. Delivery available. Freeze Tallman, more than a lumberyard. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50 for this week. Oh, what was the final number of the 50-50 on Friday? It was huge. The last time I looked, it was like 241,000. Hoping I'm obviously going to win it, but didn't. The early bird prize, you have until Thursday night at 10 p.m. Riders5050.ca. You know the operation. Go and get your 50-50 ticket before Thursday at 10 p.m. because then you're in for the early bird prize, where this week is a Montreal getaway for 2. Too bad this wasn't when the Riders are there, Thanksgiving long weekend. But the package includes return flights from Saskatchewan to Montreal, 4 nights hotel accommodations at the 4-star W Montreal in the heart of downtown Montreal. And if you don't want to go to Montreal, you can take $4,500 cash instead. Riders5050.ca. Still in this hour as well. Sorry?
Payout was 190,000. 190,000.
Yeah.
Words right.
Good for whoever won that. If they're a good human. Good for them. And then sometime in this hour, speaking of winning, we are going to play SaskTel Pick the Score, but you're going to have to call in today. Colson and I like to switch it up a little bit. So Colson's Wheel of Winning can take a break today, and we're going to play it old school style with a call in at some point. It is hour 3 on a Tuesday. Time to talk to Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Freeze Tallman Lumber, locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
Let's start with the jersey talk. And it started because the New York Islanders are doing this. They got fans to submit for their alternate jerseys. Got me thinking. There you go, Suits. There's some nice ones in there.
Yeah.
I don't mind them. Maybe the ones with the top left there can take a seat, but the rest of them are good. Now, when I think of like old jersey or jerseys that I love, it's more the color schemes. Like I love the Maine Black Bears. I love Detroit Little Caesars hockey team. What comes to mind for Glen Suitor of an old jersey? The Maine. I love those colors.
Okay,
right
so
there.
that's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I love the idea of an angry animal. Like the Chicago Bull logo The Chicago Bulls I don't think on the jersey they have the logo on the jerseys. It just says Bulls and the number. But that logo of the nasty snorting bull.
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
I remember there was one jersey, or maybe it was 1 year, or a couple of games where they were selling merch and they decided to do this logo on it. I thought, this is cool. I go back, you talk about color schemes. You remember the Houston Oilers when, Warren Moon was playing and they were like these powder blue.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And so different at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Earl Campbell just running over people in a powder blue jersey
on AstroTurf.
Yeah, that was a big one. And I heard Colson earlier say he likes where there's Warren Moon dropping back.
If you're watching the stream, Colson found that. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
And I love the oil derrick, right? And the helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, and the stripe in the pants comes down, and it's the powder blue in the middle between the two red stripes.
Sharp.
And it just works. And then you put a big, huge tailback in Earl Campbell back there, even before Moon, I believe. And you're talking about powder blue and just blowing people up. It was just this great. But Colson was talking about the small details that have something to do with the team history. And when my kid was down in Nashville, I went to a ton of Predator games, because you get two things when you go to the Nashville Predators down in that city. One, it's right at the top of Broadway. So you're right in the middle of Music City right there. That's where it all happens. And so you come in and out of the state, like you go into the stadium, watch the game, you come out, you're in a bar with music, and it's fantastic. So there's that. But in the back of their jerseys, I really like them because the saber-tooth deal on the front, again, aggressive looking on the front, and on the back, through the numbers is 6 lines, and the 6 lines represent the 6-string guitar.
Look at that.
Yeah. So when I found that out, I'm watching it, I'm thinking, that looks like the way they've done it, because it's right through the middle of the numbers. And I'm not sure if it's on the Today jersey, but I know when we were back there years ago, 5-6 years ago, it was right through the middle of the numbers. And I said, I think they're trying to do something. So, you start Googling like crazy and find out that was the purpose of it. 6 guitar strings right through the numbers on the Predators jersey.
That
to
is
represent
really,
that.
It's like the 13 wheat sheafs on the Riders Obsidian. Is it the helmets? I think. Yeah, that just those little hidden things. What about I got to ask you, the old CFL USA franchises. Does one stand out for you there? Do you like one there?
Sacramento Gold Miners.
Yeah, not bad.
That had the gold trim. Especially their whites, if I remember correctly, and they had the guy with the pick, I think, on the shoulders. I love that color scheme. It's kind of like Notre Dame with the really dark colored jersey and the gold helmet and the gold numbers, the gold trim. Like, just
how's that for simple?
Off.
How's that for a simple kit? Notre Dame fighting Irish.
Totally. Yeah, just plain simple, which leads me to one of my favorite all-time old CFL jerseys, which was the old Ottawa Roughriders when Tom Clements was playing for that team, and you got just black jerseys, white numbers, and the red stripes on the arms. Again, really simple, but looking very cool. All-time favorite NHL jersey, Chicago Blackhawks. Oh, not even close. Not even close.
Rob just texted that in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, and it was also sent in earlier, I think, by Bill and Sean or somebody. Chicago, yeah. Which ones though? The white, the red, or the black?
The white in 2000 to 2006 or 7, something right in there. They had some stripes on the arm. I think there were 3 stripes on the arm.
Oh, that's a
the
nice
logos
jersey.
on the shoulder. And
So
that
nice.
that front crest logo, every beer league team that I played on, we would sit in the locker room at the beginning of the year and we'd say, okay, we're ordering jerseys. What do you guys want to get? And we'd go around the horn, and it would be a 3-hour cooler and a half beer drinking night.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd always end up on the Chicago Blackhawks. Boy, it just, I just love it. It's
See,
I don't
next
know.
time, if you go get back into beer league and you do that, then you say the Detroit Little Caesars. My buddy Barney says we should get the Detroit. Did you throw that up for him?
Where's that one? I got to see that one.
It's just the color scheme, man. I absolutely love it.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that different?
Yeah,
Orange,
that
little powder
yeah.
blue pops, as they say.
You got some powder blue in there too.
I know.
I hear you. And the one, and Barney, the one go.
Look at there's the, if you're watching the stream, it does have the 6 strings of the guitar. Good pole suits.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and I was talking to someone with the Predators at the time because they were so good with the marketing. My kid, being in a college there, was able to get these really discounted tickets, and they call you every day almost. Just, hey, we got the game coming up, and just marketing. And I said, hey, by the way, those stripes on the back of the jersey, oh yeah, that's to represent a guitar.
There's one more thing I just noticed. On the inside of the collar, there's a piano keyboard.
Oh, look at
Wow.
that. Oh, that's
Jeez.
fantastic.
That's look at what you learned. Okay, did you? I don't know if you know this little history. Rob Vanstone was on in hour 1. We're gonna replay Robbie here coming up because it was so great. The Riders, Glen, started with gold and purple jerseys in 1910. Then in 1911, they went to blue and white. Then it was the red and blacks that they brought back a few years ago. That's from 1912 to 47. And then 1948, they adopted the famous green and white. And Rob Vanstone says, because a guy, his last name started with an F, he went and got a discount on some green and white jerseys, brought them back, and was like, this is what you're wearing, boys. Wild, eh?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Was there a reason? Did he talk about a real, absolute purpose for the color combination? Like,
Just
do
that
we
they
have
got
to
a
get
good
green?
deal. We got a green. They got a good deal on the jerseys. Simple as that. I was really wondering on the gold and purple. Curtis in the back was thinking maybe it's because of something to do with royalty. But then here's the other. If we want to, I want to have a Bizarro World game brought to you by Seinfeld, because the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they wore green and white uniforms from 1930 to 1932. So the Bombers should wear green and white, and the Riders can wear these blue and white ones from 1911.
And that is not a show about nothing. I'm telling you right there. That is the real deal. Yeah. And as a broadcaster, I just like the jerseys that have different colored numbers than the jersey itself. That's a great deal.
Yeah. Oh boy, there's some doozies out there for you guys. It's like, wow. And then
white numbers on white jerseys.
I'm glad people kind of get it now for the most part. It's like, and tackle made, he came up there, makes a good tackle, wraps up, because everyone's trying to get from you guys have a spotter, right? Where Dave and Luke, they're going by themselves. It's like, what lumber is that? If you got a spotter, you're at least ahead of the game, but still tough for him. Speaking of football, Friday night, Riders. Now, that first half was sleepy. That seems to happen, though. It was, I'm glad I took the under. First half under, heavy. But then the Riders explode. What impressed you the most watching that game on Friday, Glenn?
Yeah, Trevor Harris again. Just like we talked about it going into last week when, I mentioned that I know how motivated Trevor will be because everyone is saying that the young receivers are going to be a huge issue. And, they the young receivers just had to really be in the right place at the right time, and they were going to get the ball delivered to them. And DeJete had a great game, and some of the young guys, Mims played well in his opportunity when he got a chance to be targeted. Deshaun Mims came up with some catches too. So, when you have a guy with that much control of the game, over his game, over their offense and their schemes, there was no hesitation, there was no bouncing around, there's no, he misses the odd one like everyone because he's human, but the precision with Trevor Harris is putting him with Davis Alexander for different reasons to the top of my discussion for MOP. I think Trevor has just climbed up there in the last couple of weeks to a point where he's being so good. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that we're taking him for granted, and we should stop that because his pace is for 6,000 yards plus. Only a handful of guys have done that. Flutie did it twice. I think the gold miners, David Archer did it once to go back full circle.
Yeah.
By the way, the Vancouver Canucks have got to bring back the stick. Just the logo, stick through the deal logo. Come on.
The old King Richard Brodeur and net. And
yes.
Was Harold Sneps on the back at
Orline Kurtenbach, Don Lever.
Yeah, Kurtenbach's from Sasky. Those jerseys were gross.
but Trevor Harris and the young kids stepped up and played well. They weren't asked to be heroes. No one had to be one-handing, and those kind of things. But they executed very well.
Yeah, but what confidence for Mark Mueller, right? Yep. Calling it, and then these young receivers have, and it's like, I know people are like, "Hey, enough, Trevor Harris." Yeah, but you watch him in that game, in the first half isn't very good, and then it's almost like he comes out and it's the video game, and he's got it on easy, and he should be playing on pro because he kind of knows exactly. All right, they're in this, boom, that's going to be open. They're in this, boom. For those young receivers being thrust in, well, I don't know, that it's almost like a cheat code having that guy with them.
It really is. And, it's like, your route, but if you're unsure of the quarterback, you're coming out of your break as a receiver thinking, where am I going to have to react to? In other words, am I going to have to put the brakes on and catch it back here? Or am I going to have to go up high to catch it? When you have an inconsistent quarterback or a really young guy, like I think of the Hamilton BC game, with Harrison Frost, who at one point in the game I called him Harrison Ford. We had a little fun with that. But Indiana Jones wasn't playing for the Hamilton Tiger Cats that day. But he showed some real good flashes, but he was inconsistent. And so was Nathan, and as a matter of fact, in that game, some high throws to where the receivers, after a couple of throws like that, they come out of their break tentatively. They're looking, should I keep accelerating through this, or do I have to put the brakes on to stop because it's a little behind me? What's going to happen with the young receivers for the Riders in their game? Just run your route, be in your spot, and he'll get you the ball, and he'll put it right where he needs to put it. Accuracy in where you place the football is the most important. You can have a powerful arm, you can have a huge arm. If you don't have accuracy, it doesn't matter. And believe me, I have seen a ton of guys that could throw it through a brick wall, but try to get them to hit you in the hands, forget it. So that's where I think you're right about Coach Mueller and the relationship, that trust that they have with each other. You throw a lot of those slants, you're thrown into traffic, and often the window is tiny.
Speaking of that, it was the end of the second quarter, end of the first half, and there was 22 seconds left, and Harris on 2nd and 3 puts one to Johnny Johnson, And that, the catch and the throw. I was more impressed with the catch. We know Trevor can make that. But a young receiver in traffic, how he caught it. And I was like, boy, you think about who the Riders have out. Vanstone brought up this. Riders play the game on Friday. Not one of those receivers was in the Grey Cup game.
Yeah. Well, interesting. I didn't think of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, just think of the big playability. I mean, Keon Schaefer-Baker and Sam Emlis, these guys that have been out. I mean, that cripples teams. I mean, it's Ottawa, so we were always kind of hedging there, but at the same time, if that's any other team and they've lost all of their playmakers, basically, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And it took them a bit to get going offensively, and let's give credit to the opponent at times. But again, the precision, the knowing exactly where to throw it, sometimes before he gets it from the snap. That's just the experience and the pre-snap reads that Trevor's going through. He's of the top guys that we're talking about, and Philpott, by the way, is in that conversation too as a receiver.
Yeah.
But of the top guys we're talking about, Trevor seems to be left out of it sometimes, and I don't know why, because I think it's the take it for granted syndrome.
Let's finish. Give me about a minute and a half on Tommy Stevens. I know some people are saying, it's a discredit to what Milt Stegall did if he does break the record. Now the chase is going to be on. But what he can do, this isn't easy work. At times he makes it look easy, but you ask other teams around the league, it isn't easy to have a guy in an O-line that can do this.
Yeah, and they'd love to have him. Believe me, they'd love to have him. And here's what Tommy Stevens to me brings outside of that 2 yards that he gets, or 3.5 yards. I think he's averaging 4.5 actually. But more importantly than that, or the touchdowns, is the demeanor and buy-in that he's showing by example. And I'm sure he's not talking about it in the locker room with his buddies and his teammates. He just does it when he gets out there. Like he walks on the field like he's freaking Rambo. And he's ready to blow up the defensive line, and the rest of the team just kind of rallies around it. And I do too. I mean, the old player in me is up in the booth going, "Look at him walk out there!" Like he's like, "Go ahead and try to stop me."
Yeah, no, it's something, and it's going to be interesting as we go forward. How many teams are going to be trying to look for more of that? Strevler, Stevens, Bill, and it's not that easy. Then your offensive line got to be on the same page, and there's a lot to it. Okay, we get to catch up again on Thursday, my man. A pleasure as always. Talk to you in a couple days.
Sounds good, buddy. Houston Oilers, the old powder blue, my favorite.
We got to get you one of those. We got to. It's going to be on the docket. Glen Suitor press coverage coming at you for our friends at Fries Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. More than a lumber yard. Siding, decking, roofing, windows, doors. Delivery available to the home or cabin. Fries Tallman. Quickly, Colson, I just want to get in sprinkle of the day. There isn't a lot going on. Sports Select and sportselect.com. Quickly, just if you go to sportselect.com and look at futures, we always talk about the futures here. And CFL Grey Cup winner, Montreal still 245. The Riders, there's some value there, people.
You didn't want to bet on cricket?
I
got cricket right here.
No, I'm trying to quit. Roughriders are 385. There's some value on the futures. Then the Elks at 5-1, Stamps 6-1, are going to BC Lions 11-1. Maybe there's value there. Sports Select and sportselect.com. It is break time. We're going to play Pick the Score when we come back. 936-6262. What's the score this weekend in Hamilton? It's a Sportscage. We'll be right back.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Hello?
Wanna play a game?
Not really. I'm trying to get...
What goes up, but not down?
My garage door. I'm late for work and waiting for the repair guy.
You can manually open it if you pull the...
Yeah, I know, but I need it fixed, and I'm not going to get out of my car and pull the rope 8 times a day.
Call Busy Bee Doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
I was just excited I found someone who still has a landline.
Oh my God.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Western Pizza is more than just pizza, and we don't mean ribs and pasta. But for the record, you can get that there too. No, Western Pizza is the perfect partner for every occasion. From late nights polishing papers to parties full of people passing it around while conversation peaks. It's premium leftovers. It's what you pick up for a picnic on a pristine summer day. And of course, it always pleases the palate. Dine in or take out today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
Boston, Toronto, hardball right now. Jays 3.5 back. You're saying there's a chance. 0-0 in the bottom of the second. Big game in Moose Jaw. Miller Express, Saskatoon Berries, game 1 of the Western Canadian Baseball Division Final tonight. Canadian Junior Boys Golf going on at the Wascana. Whoa, a kid by the name of Thomas Hung Zhao from Vancouver went off. Take it easy on the course, Thomas. -5 today. He's leading. Along with now Turner Noah from LaSalle, Ontario. There's a whack of them at -4. Kids are going low. Top Saski players today. Arison Franklin from Saskatoon -2. Austin Nesbitt from Pilot Butte shot +1. It's for Steelcraft Doors in Prince Albert, Saskatoon, and Regina, covering all of the province. The doors are made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. Do we got to pick the score player? What's his name?
Her name is Rebecca.
Woohoo! Sorry, Rebecca. My apologies to you.
All good.
Okay.
All good.
Okay. What do you think? In Hamilton on the weekend, Riders, Tiger Cats, what's your score?
Riders are going to dominate, as usual, as they should, 40. And, Hamilton's going to come around, maybe 28. So I'd say Riders 40, Hamilton 28. But you know what? They can't touch us. So
40, 20. How many touchdowns for Tommy Stevens for bonus points?
We'll say 2. Let's say 2.
Okay, Rebecca, hang on the line. You got 2 tickets to the next Rider home game. Thank you very much for calling and listening. Colson's going to get your information. We'll do that again tomorrow. Pick the score. Be on your toes. Okay, speaking of Tommy Stevens, and I know Colson's kind of busy, but we got some Tommy Stevens stuff here. Here's him talking about, if you saw it, his Stone Cold celebration.
Kind of somebody tipped me off the idea last week. I don't even remember who it was, but kind of just hit me in the moment. I thought it'd be a good time to do it, and yeah, it just happened.
And then, because I know somebody else was asking this, was Trevor Harris splashed in the celebration?
Possibly. I think Mike Rose got it, because if you watch the video, Mike is walking by and he's like, he jumps back, and so I made sure not to get the iPad because I didn't want to pay for that. Yeah.
That's the one thing I noticed when I was watching the replay, and I was up with Luke and Dave in the booth. He's got the wherewithal to move the iPad over to the side, and then he does it. Aren't we just all better because Tommy Stevens is playing football here? But the other little thing is that he buys donuts for the offensive line after he scores a touchdown, which I was at practice today, so I was wondering that. When did buying donuts for the offensive line start is the question.
Well, I actually did it back my first year in the league. I wanted to do something, and yeah, it was kind of just like my first idea, I guess. So there was a Tim Hortons real close to the facility in Calgary, and I was like, yeah, I'll just go here and get some donuts. And so I've been doing it since then.
I wonder if we can convince him to go with something else, something Sasky, pierogies. Hey, and then you got to cook them though. That's kind of a dumb idea. I'll take that back. I love it. I hope he breaks the record. I don't care. I know Milt Stegall was a receiver, but like I said, he's it's not easy doing what he does, and the offensive line got to be on point. It has to be on point. There's a lot that goes into it. Let's not kid ourselves. But this is an interesting one, because this is the question that I probably would have asked her around this. What is the dynamic in the huddle, and what's the dynamic like when he's calling plays? And Trevor Harris is also in the huddle.
Yeah. I mean, we actually have like an extra wristband that we call like our plays on, and so Trevor didn't have that wristband because he's not going to call those plays unless I'm in the game. And so I come in, I call the plays, and Trevor's been great too. It's been really fun. You can watch him on the edge. He's telling the DBs to come guard him, and it's been really fun. So the guys, I think I've said it before, the guys in the huddle, their eyes light up, and they're ready to go.
But hold on, Tommy. Did Trevor line up on the wrong side of the field at one point?
No, he just wanted to add a little motion to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, sure he did. That's awesome. Not throwing anyone under the bus. God, gotta love Tommy Stevens. More Rider talk coming up, CFL talk. If you missed it, in hour one with Rob Vanstone after the break. For Saskatchewan Lotteries, Rider scratch tickets, 75,000 still out there. It is the Sportscage. We're back after this.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over